Welcome to Sunshine Stories. We'll be reading The Princess in My Teacup, another happy book by Sally Huss, being kind and helpful. It happened a while back while I was visiting my cousin. We were having a cup of tea and eating cookies by the dozen. I was about to lift my cup to have another tasty swallow when my eye caught something that startled me for what was to follow. I looked into my teacup, and to my astonishment and surprise, there was something there that shocked me. I couldn't believe my eyes. I thought, is that a princess in my teacup? And why is she smiling up at me? I'm just a little girl who is as simple as can be. I do not know why she would visit me. I do not know what is on her mind. All I know is that she's very special, and I'll try to be most kind. Of course, I could have told her all the things I do, like care for my dog and cat. But when I opened my eyes again, the cup was gone, and that was that. Then it happened once more when I was lunching with a friend. I looked into my soup bowl and found her back again. She smiled at me and I smiled back. Then I asked, "What can I do for you?" She sighed and said, "Yes, there is something you can do. It's really not much. It is only that you should be useful." That gave me a hint, a hunch. To be useful seemed a grown-up thing to do, but I'd make an effort and see what I could do. Each day I helped my mother with the kitchen chores, and not just mine. My mother thanked me and said how useful I was, which suited me just fine. Then while we were cleaning up, I looked into the sink, and there was that face again. What do you think? Was that a princess in the sink smiling up at me again? What now could she want from me? I'll treat her like a friend. I said, "Whatever can I do for you, dear princess whom I see?" She answered, "You could be more grateful for all the things you see." Grateful, yes. Sometimes I forget what a lucky girl I am. That's it, said the princess. Now you've got a plan. My mother pulled the plug and the water went down the sink. And away went the princess faster than I could blink. The sink was not the last of her. No, not hardly. It was when I was giving thanks for all the gifts at my birthday party. There, floating happily in the bowl of punch, was the princess who'd given me that last hunch. Now what did she want? What could I do to please her? She spoke as a chunk of ice was added. I hoped it wouldn't freeze her. What she said was something I had never thought to do. Make friends with those who have none or very few. Friends? Yes, I thought I'd like to have many. Perhaps I could add a few from those who do not have any. I thanked her for her suggestion, while someone using the ladle was making a punch selection, which caused her to dissolve into a tasteful brew. That was it. We seemed to be through. Back at school on a very rainy day, I found a new friend when we went outside to play. I had put on my galoshes and shared my umbrella with a little boy who had been a very lonely fellow. We splashed in the water and danced in the rain, and we became good friends before we had to go inside again. But before I left the schoolyard, I spotted a face in a puddle. Goodness gracious, who would have expected a princess to turn up in such a muddle? But in the muddle she did, and thanked me for befriending that little kid. Now what could she want me to do? Think kindly of others, she said. They're just like you. Not everything in their lives is perfect. See what you can do. Of course, I promised the princess I'd give it my all and think kindly of others, whether they were grumpy or mean, big or small. Unfortunately, someone stepped on the puddle on his way back to class, and the princess disappeared with another big splash. Back home again, I helped my mother prepare the evening meal, then gave thanks for the food before me and did it with great zeal. I even told my family about my new friend, and all the while thought kindly of my brother and sister till the dinner's end. I got into the bath that night after filling up the tub, then opened my eyes after giving my face a good scrub. There she was, more glorious than before. Then she thanked me for my efforts and said I could still do more. I promised that I would. I knew I would because it felt so good. And that was our last goodbye. But I had made a promise and I would try. But who was that princess in the puddle of mud, the kitchen sink, the bowl of soup, and the bathtub? Why did she come and go, arrive and disappear? I had to check my heart to make it clear. And what it told me is something I will reveal to you, in case you come across a princess too. The kindness and goodness that the princess asked me to share was something that I could easily spare. I had plenty of it, plenty to give away, and that's what I promised to do each and every day. That's how it all came about, how I learned who the princess was without a doubt. Now I know that the princess in my cup of tea was none other than the princess in me. The end. But not the end of being kind and helpful. Thank you for joining us today, friends.